My son threw me out of his house because his wife told a lie about me. Not a small lie, not a misunderstanding, a calculated, deliberate lie meant to destroy everything I'd spent 30 years building with my boy. I stood on that porch holding two suitcases while the woman who had only known him for 3 years looked me dead in the eye, no guilt, no hesitation, and smiled like she'd just won something. My son couldn't even look at me. The man I carried inside my body for 9 months. The child I raised alone after his father walked out. The boy who used to hold my hand in the grocery store and tell strangers I was the strongest woman in the world. He believed her over me. And for 3 weeks after I left, I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I didn't call. I just waited. Because the truth has a way of crawling out from under lies no matter how tightly they're buried. And when it finally surfaced, when everything Janelle had built started crumbling around her, my phone rang. It was Terrence. And the first words out of his mouth were the ones I'd been waiting to hear since the day he chose her over his own mother. But by then, everything had already changed. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you'd die for, you'll understand why what I did next shocked everyone, including him.
My name is Lorraine Jackson. I'm 58 years old, and I supervise the cafeteria at Oak Ridge Elementary in East Atlanta. I've been doing it for 12 years now, making sure those babies eat something warm before they start their day. But long before I was handing out lunch trays and wiping down tables, I was a 25-year-old woman holding a positive pregnancy test in a bathroom that smelled like mildew and broken promises. Terrence's father left 3 months after our son was born. Didn't even wait for the first birthday. Just packed his car one Tuesday morning while I was at the grocery store and never came back. No note, no explanation, no forwarding address. So it was just me and my baby boy. I worked 2 jobs for the first 6 years of his life. During the day, I cleaned office buildings downtown. At night, I did hair in my living room. Braids, weaves, relaxers, whatever people needed. I kept a playpen in the corner with toys so Terrence could stay close while I worked. He'd fall asleep to the sound of hair dryers and women laughing about their terrible boyfriends. Some nights I was so tired I'd cry in the shower just to get it out before morning came again. But I never let him see that. Every school project, I was there. Every scraped knee, every nightmare, every fever that spiked at 2 a.m, I handled it, alone. When Terrence was 7, he made me a Mother's Day card that said, "You are the strongest mom in the world, and I will take care of you when I grow up." I still have that card in my Bible. He kept his word, too. Terrence studied hard, stayed out of trouble, made honor roll every semester. While other boys in the neighborhood were falling into the streets, my son was falling into textbooks. He got a full scholarship to Georgia Tech, mechanical engineering. I cried so hard at his graduation, they had to bring me tissues from the concession stand. After college, he landed a job at a manufacturing firm making more money in a year than I'd made in 5. That's when he met Janelle. She was a receptionist at his office building. Pretty girl. Honey-colored skin, long lashes, voice smooth as Sunday morning gospel. She had this way of tilting her head when she talked that made men feel like they were the only person in the room. Terrence brought her to meet me on a Saturday afternoon. She wore a yellow sundress and smiled the whole time, but her eyes stayed cold. I saw it, I felt it, but I didn't say anything. Because my son was happy, and after everything he'd been through growing up without a father, I wanted him to have love. They got married 8 months later, small ceremony at a banquet hall in Buckhead. I paid for half of it, even though Janelle's family had more money than mine ever did. At the reception, she thanked me in her speech, said all the right words, but when she hugged me, her hands barely touched my back. I should have known then. 2 years into their marriage, Terrence bought his first house, a 2-story townhouse on the east side with a little backyard and a basement suite. He called me one evening excited. "Ma, I want you to move in with us." I laughed. "Baby, you're newlyweds. Y'all need your space." "No, Ma, listen. You've been working yourself to the bone for 30 years. Let me take care of you for once. The basement's finished. You'll have your own bathroom, your own entrance. You won't even feel like you're in the same house." My heart swelled. "Terrence, you sure?" "I'm sure. Pack your things. You're coming home." When I told Janelle the news, her smile tightened at the corners. She said, "That's wonderful," but her voice had edges. Still, I packed my things. I moved in. I kept to myself. The basement suite was cozy. Small bedroom, bathroom with a standing shower, little sitting area with a television. I made it mine. Put up my mother's quilt on the wall, kept my books on a shelf, brewed my tea every morning before heading to work. At first, everything seemed fine. I cooked Sunday dinners. Terrence would come downstairs and we'd watch old game shows together like when he was a kid. Janelle joined us sometimes, but she always looked distracted. Then the little comments started. "Lorraine, did you use my shampoo? The expensive one?" I hadn't touched her bathroom. "Lorraine, I can't find my earrings. Have you seen them?" I didn't even know what earrings she was talking about. "Terrence, your mother doesn't seem to like me very much." That one hurt the most because it wasn't true. I had been nothing but kind to that girl. But Janelle had a gift. She could take a truth, twist it just enough, and plant it in someone's mind like a seed. And once it was there, it grew. I started noticing how Terrence looked at me differently when she was around, like he was trying to figure out if what she said had any weight. One night I heard them arguing upstairs. "She's your mother, Janelle. She's not trying to come between us. Then why does she act like this don't belong here? Like this is still her house?" "It's not like that, Terrence. You always defend her, every single time." He went quiet after that, and I realized something that made my chest feel hollow. Janelle wasn't overwhelmed by my presence. She was threatened by it, and she was going to do whatever it took to remove me from the equation.
The real trouble started the day Terrence got promoted. He came through the door that Tuesday evening holding a bottle of sparkling cider and grinning wider than I'd seen in months. "We celebrating tonight," he shouted. I set down the dish towel and hugged him tight. "Baby, I'm so proud of you. You worked so hard for this." Jeanette was sitting on the couch scrolling through her phone. She glanced up, barely smiled, and said, "It's about time." Her tone caught me off guard, but I let it go. This was Terrence's moment. That night, I pulled out all the stops. Baked chicken with garlic and thyme, collard greens cooked slow with smoked turkey, mac and cheese with 3 kinds of cheese, buttermilk cornbread, the kind of meal that makes a house smell like home. We sat down together at the dining table. Terrence poured the cider, raised his glass. "To new beginnings," he said. "To new beginnings," I echoed. Janelle clinked her glass, but didn't drink. We ate. Terrence talked about the promotion, the new team he'd be managing, the pay increase, the responsibilities. I listened, asked questions, celebrated every detail. Then Janelle cleared her throat. "Terrence, tell your mom what happened at my job today." He frowned mid-bite. "What happened?" She set her fork down slowly, deliberately, looked right at me. "Someone called my office phone this morning, told my supervisor I was stealing company supplies." My hand froze halfway to my glass. "What? Who would do something like that?" Her eyes didn't leave mine. I don't know, Lorraine. You tell me. The air went out of the room. What are you talking about? I said quietly. You've been acting strange ever since we got married, she said, her voice sharp now. You can't stand the idea of another woman having Terrence's attention. Admit it. I put my fork down. My hands were shaking. Janelle, I would never. Don't lie to me. Her voice rose. I know it was you. Who else would want to sabotage my career? Terrence held up his hands. Babe, that's a serious accusation. Your mother has been jealous from day one. She pointed at me. She doesn't respect our marriage. She doesn't respect me. And now she's trying to ruin my life. My throat felt tight. I looked at my son. Terrence, you know I didn't do this. But he wouldn't meet my eyes. And that silence, that one moment of hesitation, cut deeper than any accusation ever could. I didn't make that call, I said, my voice barely steady. But I can see you're not sure, so I'm going to leave you two alone. I walked down to the basement, closed the door, sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the wall. Upstairs, I could hear them still arguing, her voice loud and sharp, his voice low and tired, and I knew in that moment that this was only the beginning. Janelle had drawn first blood. Now she was going to watch me bleed.
2 weeks passed, and the house became a graveyard. Janelle stopped speaking to me unless Terrence was present. When I walked into a room, she'd walk out. If I said good morning, she'd act like I didn't exist. She started locking the upstairs cabinets, labeled food in the fridge with her name on sticky notes, kept her purse on her shoulder even inside the house like I was going to steal from her. Terrence stopped coming downstairs to visit. He left for work early, came home late, and when he was home, he stayed upstairs. I tried to give them space. I stayed in my suite, cooked my own meals, kept my head down. But the tension was suffocating. One Saturday morning, I came upstairs to make coffee and heard them arguing in the kitchen. I told you she didn't mean it that way, Terrence said, his voice strained. She did mean it, Janelle snapped. She always does. Your mother is trying to turn you against me, and you're too blind to see it. I stopped in the hallway, not wanting to intrude. But before I could turn back, Janelle stormed toward me. Her face was red, her eyes wild. Lorraine, tell Terrence what you said to me yesterday. I blinked. What are you talking about? You told me I wasn't wife enough for him. Tell him. My stomach dropped. I never said anything like that. Yes, you did. You said I was lazy, that my cooking wasn't good enough, that I wasn't raised right. I shook my head, my earrings swinging. Janelle, that is a lie. I have never said any of those things to you. Terrence walked into the hallway, hands in his hair. Ma, Janelle said you cornered her in the laundry room yesterday afternoon. I wasn't even home yesterday afternoon. I worked a double shift. I didn't get home until almost 9. Janelle crossed her arms. You're calling me a liar? I'm saying it didn't happen. See? Janelle turned to Terrence, tears forming in her eyes. She's gaslighting me. She does this every time. Terrence, my voice breaking, you know me. You know I wouldn't. I just want peace in my house, he shouted. The room went silent. He'd never raised his voice at me like that. Not once in 33 years. Janelle wiped her eyes dramatically. I can't live like this. I will not be disrespected in my own home. Terrence exhaled slowly. Ma, maybe you could just apologize so we can all move forward. I stared at him. Apologize for what? For making her feel unwelcome. I didn't make her feel anything.
She's lying, Terrence. Just apologize. His voice cracked with frustration. Please, for me. Just say you're sorry so we can stop fighting. My chest caved in. He wanted me to apologize for something I didn't do, to bow down to lies just to keep a false peace. I looked at my son, the boy I raised alone, the man I sacrificed everything for. And I didn't recognize him anymore. Janelle had won. She'd turned him into someone who valued comfort over truth, someone who would ask his own mother to lie just to make his wife happy. I straightened my back, lifted my chin. No. Terrence froze. What? I won't apologize for something I didn't do. Janelle's face twisted. Then you don't respect this marriage. I respect the truth, I said quietly. And the truth is, you're lying. Terrence looked between us, trapped, desperate. Then he said the words that broke me. Then maybe you need to leave, just for a little while, until we figure this out. The world stopped. You're putting me out? I whispered. He wouldn't look at me. Just until things calmed down. I waited for him to take it back, to remember who I was, what I'd done for him. But he just stood there, silent, defeated. And behind him, Janelle smiled.
I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I walked downstairs, pulled 2 suitcases from under my bed, and started packing. 33 years of love reduced to 2 bags. I folded my mother's quilt carefully, packed my Bible, my photo albums, the clothes I'd need for work. I left behind everything else, the television, the books, the tea kettle I used every morning. None of it mattered anymore. When I came back upstairs, Terrence was standing by the front door. His hands were in his pockets. His eyes were red but dry. Janelle stood behind him in the hallway, arms crossed, chin lifted. She didn't say a word. Didn't have to. Her posture said it all. I set my suitcases down and looked at my son one last time. Terrence? He finally looked at me. One day, I said slowly, the truth is going to come out. And when it does, I pray to God it doesn't destroy you. His jaw tightened. He opened his mouth like he wanted to say something, but nothing came. I picked up my suitcases and walked past him. Out the door, down the steps, across the driveway to my car. I loaded my bags into the trunk, got in the driver's seat, started the engine, and I did not look back. Not at the house I'd helped him buy, not at the porch where we used to sit on summer evenings, not at the son who chose a liar over the woman who gave him life. I drove away with my head high and my heart in pieces, but I didn't cry. Not yet, because tears were for private moments, and I still had my dignity, even if I'd lost everything else. I drove straight to Miss Ruth's house. Ruth Miller was a woman from my church, 72 years old, widowed, with a spare bedroom and a heart bigger than the whole state of Georgia. We'd known each other for 15 years. She'd watched Terrence grow up, cheered at his graduation, danced at his wedding. When I knocked on her door that night, she took one look at my face and pulled me inside. Baby, what happened? I told her everything. She didn't interrupt, didn't judge, just listened while the kettle boiled and the rain started tapping against the windows. When I finished, she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. You did the right thing, she said firmly. Don't ever apologize for standing in your truth. I nodded, but my throat was too tight to speak. You can stay here as long as you need. No rush, no pressure. I'll pay you. Hush, she waved her hand. You're family. We take care of family. That night, I lay in her guest bed staring at the ceiling. The sheets smelled like lavender. The house was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator downstairs. And for the first time since I walked out of Terrence's house, I let myself cry. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet tears that soaked into the pillow until I had nothing left. 3 days passed. I went to work, served lunch to the kids, smiled when they asked where I had been, told no one what had happened. At night, Ms. Ruth and I sat on her porch, drinking sweet tea. She told me stories about her late husband, about raising her children, about the time she'd been betrayed and how she survived it. God doesn't waste pain, she said one evening. He uses it to build something stronger. I wanted to believe her, but my phone stayed silent. Terrence didn't call, didn't text, didn't check to see if I was okay. And every day that passed without hearing from him felt like another small death. But I held on to something Miss Ruth said that first night. The truth always finds its way to the light. Always. I just didn't know how soon that light would come or how bright it would burn when it did. On the 4th day, my phone rang at 6 in the morning. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something in my gut told me to pick up. Hello? Mrs. Jackson, this is Patricia Owens. I'm the HR director at Covenant Financial Group. I sat up in bed. That was Janelle's company. Yes? I'm calling because there's been an incident involving one of our employees, Janelle Harper. Your name came up during our investigation, and I wanted to reach out directly. My heart started pounding. What kind of incident? We traced a fraudulent call made from our office line 3 weeks ago. The call was made to Janelle's supervisor claiming she was stealing office supplies. We initially thought it was an external attack, but our IT team found something unusual. I gripped the phone tighter. The call was made during Janelle's lunch break, Patricia continued, from her own desk phone. And when we reviewed security footage, we saw her cousin, a woman named Tasha Brooks, sitting at Janelle's desk making the call. My breath caught. We brought both women in for questioning yesterday. Tasha admitted that Janelle asked her to make the call. The plan was to create a situation where Janelle could claim someone close to her was harassing her at work, someone she could blame. Me? I whispered. Yes, ma'am. Janelle told her supervisor you were the likely culprit. She filed an official complaint against you, but when we showed her the footage, she broke down and admitted to orchestrating the entire thing. I closed my eyes. Why are you telling me this? Because Janelle tried to have you investigated for harassment and defamation. She gave your full name, your workplace, everything. We were prepared to involve law enforcement until we discovered the truth. I wanted you to know that you're completely cleared, and I wanted to apologize on behalf of our company. What's going to happen to Janelle? Patricia's voice turned cold. She's been terminated, effective immediately. Fraud, misuse of company resources, filing false reports, those are grounds for immediate dismissal. Tasha has been banned from our premises. I should have felt vindicated, relieved, but all I felt was sad. Because I knew what this meant for Terrence. Thank you for calling, I said quietly. Of course. Again, I'm very sorry you were dragged into this. I hung up and sat there in the early morning light, staring at the wall. The truth had surfaced, but the damage was already done. 20 minutes later, my phone rang again. This time, I recognized the number. Terrence. I let it ring 3 times before I answered. Hello? Ma? His voice cracked immediately. Ma, please. I'm so sorry. Please come home. I didn't respond. I know what happened, he rushed on. Janelle's job called me. They told me everything. The phone call, the cousin, all of it. Ma, it wasn't you. I should have known. I should have believed you. Still, I said nothing. She lied to me. She looked me in the eye and lied, and I believed her over you, over my own mother. Ma, I'm so sorry. I don't even know how to... Why are you calling me now, Terrence? The question stopped him cold. What? You didn't call to check on me for 4 days. You put me out of your house. You chose her word over mine without even questioning it. So why are you calling me now? Because I know the truth. You knew the truth before. You've known me your entire life. You knew I would never do what she accused me of, but you didn't defend me. You doubted me. And that hurt more than anything she ever said. He started crying. I know, Ma. I was wrong. I was so wrong. What else did you find out, Terrence? He went quiet. There's more, isn't there? Ma, tell me. He took a shaky breath. When her job called, I confronted her. We got into a huge fight. She said I was overreacting, that it was just a misunderstanding, that her cousin acted alone. But you didn't believe her this time. No. So I started looking. I went through her phone while she was in the shower. My stomach tightened. Ma, she was texting her supervisor, a man named Greg, and the messages, they weren't professional. I closed my eyes. She's been seeing him for months, maybe longer. And there were other messages too about our bank account, about waiting until the right time to leave, about making sure she got her half of everything before she walked away. The room felt too small. She was planning to leave you, I said. Yes, his voice broke completely. She never loved me, Ma. She was using me. And I threw you out to protect her.
There's something else. I waited. She told Greg she was tired of pretending, that she couldn't stand being in the house with my overbearing mother, that getting rid of you was step one. My chest tightened. Step one of what? Of isolating me, making me dependent on her. She told him once you were gone, I'd have no one else to turn to, that I'd be easier to control. I felt sick. And Greg? I asked. He's married. 3 kids. Janelle didn't care. She told him she'd wait until I was emotionally broken before she'd leave me. Then she'd take half of everything and move on. How much does she know about your finances? Everything. His voice dropped to a whisper. We have a joint savings account, $38,000. I checked it this morning after I found the messages. She withdrew $15,000 last week, moved it into an account I didn't know existed. Terrence. I confronted her about the messages an hour ago. She didn't even try to deny it. She just grabbed her keys and left, said I'd hear from her lawyer. The line went silent for a moment. Ma, I ruined everything. I believed a woman I've known for 3 years over the woman who gave me life, who sacrificed everything for me. And now you're gone, and I'm sitting in this empty house realizing that I destroyed the one relationship that actually mattered. I heard him break down, full gut-wrenching sobs that sounded like a child lost in the dark. I need you, Ma. I need my mother, please. I know I don't deserve it. I know I hurt you, but please, come home. I sat there, phone pressed against my ear, listening to my son fall apart. And I felt 2 things at once. Anger that it took losing everything for him to see the truth. And love. Deep, unshakable love. The kind only a mother can feel. Where's Janelle now? Gone. She took her stuff and left with Tasha. I don't know where they went. Okay. Ma, will you come back? I looked around Miss Ruth's guest room, the lavender sheets, the morning light coming through the curtains. I'll come, but not because you asked. I told Miss Ruth I was going to see Terrence.
She hugged me tight, made me promise to call if I needed anything, and watched from the porch as I drove away. The ride to his house felt longer than it should have. When I pulled into the driveway, the front door opened before I even turned off the engine. Terrence stepped onto the porch. He looked terrible. Eyes swollen, shirt wrinkled, face hollowed out by guilt and exhaustion. I grabbed my purse and walked toward him slowly. When I reached the steps, he dropped to his knees. "Ma, please forgive me. Please, I'm so sorry." People always think forgiveness means everything goes back to normal. It doesn't. "Get up, Terrence." He looked up at me, tears streaming down his face. "Get up," I said again, softer this time. He stood, shaking. I stepped onto the porch and looked at him, really looked at him. This man who used to be my little boy, who used to hold my hand at the grocery store and fall asleep on my lap during church. "I forgive you," I said. Relief washed over his face. "But I'm angry." The relief faded. "I'm angry that you doubted me so easily, that you let someone you barely knew convince you I was capable of cruelty. I raised you better than that, Terrence. I taught you to think for yourself, to question, to protect the people who've always protected you." He nodded, lips trembling. "And I'm angry that it took her betraying you for you to believe me, like my word alone wasn't enough. It should have been. It should have always been enough. Yes, it should have." I walked past him into the house. It felt hollow, empty, the kind of quiet that comes after something breaks. I set my purse on the kitchen counter. Terrence followed me inside, keeping his distance like he was afraid I'd disappear. "Ma, will you stay? Please." I turned to face him. "No." His face crumbled. "What?" "I'm not moving back in." "But I thought you forgave me." "I do forgive you, but forgiveness doesn't erase consequences, baby. It doesn't mean everything goes back to the way it was." "Then what does it mean?" I sat down at the kitchen table, gestured for him to sit across from me. He did. "It means I still love you," I said. "It means I'll still be your mother. I'll still answer when you call. I'll still pray for you every night before I go to sleep. But I won't live here. Not now." "Why not?" "Because you need to grow, Terrence. You need to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet, how to think for yourself without someone whispering in your ear, whether that someone is Janelle or me." He shook his head. "I don't want to be alone." "You won't be alone. You'll be independent. There's a difference." "But what if I mess up again?" "Then you'll learn from it. That's what adults do." He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. "I don't know how to do this without you." "Yes, you do. I raised you to be strong, smart, capable. You've just forgotten." I reached across the table and took his hand. "Listen to me. The next time you fall in love, and you will fall in love again, make sure that person loves you. Not your paycheck, not your house, not what you can give them. You. Make sure they see your heart, your character, your soul. And make sure they respect the people who built you into the man you are." He nodded, squeezing my hand. "And Terrence, never let anyone turn you against your family again. Because relationships come and go. But the people who loved you before you had anything, the people who stayed when everyone else left, those people deserve your loyalty." "I'm sorry, Ma. I'm so sorry." "I know you are, baby. And we'll get through this. Together, but apart." I stood up, grabbed my purse. His eyes widened. "You're leaving?" "I'm going back to Miss Ruth's. I'll stay there for a while until I find my own place." Your own place? Ma, no. Yes, it's time. I've been taking care of you your whole life. Now it's time for me to take care of myself. I kissed his forehead, walked to the door, and this time when I left, I wasn't being thrown out. I was choosing my peace.
Let me tell you something I learned through all of this. Love is not submission. Forgiveness is not permission to hurt you again. And family, real family, should never be sacrificed for someone who doesn't respect where you came from. I see too many people abandoning the ones who raised them, who fought for them, who stayed up nights worrying over them, all because someone new whispered poison in their ear. Don't be that person. Don't let anyone convince you that loyalty to your past is a weakness. It's a strength. Before you believe an accusation against someone who's proven their love for years, ask yourself, what has this new person proven? How long have they stood by me? What have they sacrificed? The people who loved you before you had anything deserve more than doubt. They deserve your protection, your trust, your unwavering defense. Because one day, when everyone else is gone, those are the people who will still be standing. Make sure you're standing with them.